Hello and everyone, welcome to another Charisma video. In this video I will be redoing the video from yesterday, in which I discussed how I believe that the Half-Life series should have actually played out. If Valve actually prioritized realism, like strict realism over fantasy, is what I believe. The reason why I'm redoing it because yesterday I was basically recording that video while I was having a breakdown, which was a really bad idea, but I wanted to rush it and it wasn't really worth it. So today I'm somewhat better. It's not really still the best, but it is just kind of terrible, but I'm doing a bit better, so I should be able to re-record the video, right, so to get started, let's start with Gordon Freeman, right? So as I said, Gordon Freeman should not have survived Black Mesa in the first place. He either should have died in the resonance cascade or should have been shot by the AGCU Marines. Well, that is if G-Man, first of all, if G-Man didn't if G-Man didn't influence the world around him, his environment, and also if Valve didn't really how to say it, if Valve didn't really make the other enemies so easy, because obviously part of the reason why Gordon Freeman survives is that he's being controlled by the player, right? I mean, the player is playing as Gordon Freeman, and it's extremely easy to kill an enemy in a game than to kill a soldier or a marine in real life when you're just when you're a civilian, right? I mean, as I said, Gordon Freeman has no combat or military training. Gordon Freeman is purely a civilian scientist at Black Mesa, okay? He only did the hazard course, but that is not combat oriented. What I'm trying to say is that if it was actually Gordon Freeman, for himself, not controlled by player, not manipulated by G-Man or whatever, he would not really have too much chance of surviving against the AGCU, and he would have probably died in the spectrometer or chamber or whatever that is, he would have died in there. And if not, then he would have been killed, as I said, by AGCU or the aliens, the Xenians or Race X that invaded the facility after the portal was opened. Even if he did survive Black Mesa, then he would have to still fight through, Combine's forces, because shortly after Black Mesa, obviously the Combine noticed the Earth and also used the portal ripped through the fabric of reality or through the dimensions to obviously set their forces on Earth. Which makes sense because they were just seizing the opportunity, right? And the Combine conquered the Earth in 7 hours. They conquered all of the Earth's militaries in just 7 hours. Humans had absolutely no chance to fight against the Combine. And you're telling me that a scientist with just a weird suit and a crowbar and a bunch of homeless people, which are rebels following him, that he would be able to take down an entire multidimensional aliens empire's infrastructure on Earth? That doesn't really make too much sense. So the way I see it is that there is only one or maximally two possible outcomes to how the Half-Life series should have played out, and none of them ends in the Combine's defeat, because when you look at it through just the pure logistics and power of the Combine, you will soon realize why that is the case. So first of all, there is no Freeman, or sorry, there is no G-Man. Okay, G-Man is captured. Once again, another thing I don't realize is why G-Man is no longer captured, or why the vault failed during the events of Half-Life 2, or what, you know, that doesn't make sense. Obviously the Combine would keep the vault around, they would keep G-Man trapped, right? G-Man is a high priority threat for them because G-Man keeps screwing up their operations. He keeps fucking up their operations, so obviously the Combine will not really let G-Man to just run around, you know, and keep screwing up stuff. They would have kept the vault round, and they would have kept him trapped in there, or captured. That means G-Man can no longer manipulate anyone, or control anyone, which means Freeman is completely on his own. A scientist, no combat training, up against a Kardashev scale level 5 or level 4 civilization that the Combine is. Right? I mean, the Combine essentially has unlimited resources. They have unlimited manpower at that point. Unlike humans, which don't have any of that. Meaning that Freeman and the rebels would have been defeated in just minutes at best. They would not have survived, right? So at that point, Freeman is killed, the resistance is crushed, you know. Even the average Overwatch soldier is like 10 times more capable than a normal person. So that is what they do. And obviously, Freeman without G-Man and his pathetic rebels, just having his pathetic rebels, you know, and stuff like that, obviously he poses no threat to the Combine. So, to sum it up, for me the only possible outcomes of this are, they're just, as I said, two possible combinations. Either Freeman doesn't even live to see the Combine because he dies in Black Mesa, or even if he does, then and he does try to start something, then he's immediately crushed by the Combine's forces, and so is the resistance, and the Combine is not threatened by Freeman or rebels at all, and G-Man remains captured, and Freeman dies, and the Combine prevails, and G-Man remains captured. Well, and as always, thanks for watching. I tried to make this video a bit short because there is not really much to talk about, but I think they should still get the message around there, you know. I'm a bit better today, so I was able to speak a bit more coherently, but yeah. So that is the way I see how Half-Life 2 should have played out. Not just Half-Life 2, but the entire Half-Life series. If Valve prioritized strict realism over romanticism. Is that right? Of course it is. Well, and as always, this was a bit short, but yeah, as always, thanks for watching, and goodbye.